Stand closer to the sun.
You've talked about the new initiatives they're taking as a key to the investment story. Can you talk about the risks in that and what is the guarantee of success?
When you say new initiatives, are you referring to the digital business?
Digital and education, these are all new for them,
Yeah.
new for the industry, lots of competition, lots of players, a lot of excitement, but no guarantee of success. So how do you think about it?
Yeah. So I'll just start by first telling you that the Indian markets are a bit different compared to global markets where print is tanking. In India, literacy levels are still up and consumption is up, so print is doing well. So one could make the argument that it makes sense for HTML to only focus on print because that's still a growing industry. In the case of HT Media, it so happens that their main business is Hindustan Times, the English daily, from which they get 60% of their revenues. Now, this operates in a niche segment, and the readers of this newspaper are making the transition to consuming content online and through other forms. So at this point in time, it's not really a question of should or should they not enter into the digital or the internet businesses. It's a question of who gets there first. So we think they're doing the right thing. They need to enter early. The internet business, as you rightly mentioned, has a lot of competition. It's volatile, but you've got to start early. You've got to show the commitment to invest, which they seem to be doing. And in our analysis, we call it the dark horse, the big bet. If they do manage to successfully navigate through all the challenges, the rewards are going to be huge for them.
In what demographic do you see these new channels sort of having the most impact, and how do you see that demographic growing over time?
So during the course of presentation, we pointed out that in radio business, HTML currently has presence in 4 metros. So the management has an intention to expand its operation to tier 2 and tier 3 cities of India. In education businesses, its focus is on running management schools in metros, and in digital business, because its focus is on getting the content online. So the focus would be to cater to the existing audience, which the Hindustan Times and Mint currently focuses on.
On the subject of valuation, I mean, why do you use a 70-30 ratio and not 30-70 the other way around? I mean, you place more emphasis on DCF. And then the second one on your multiples, why do you use PE or price to free cash flow and not just focus on others?
Taking your first question in the beginning, we've given a weightage of 70-30 to DCF and multiples because the business model that the company is currently operating in, that will give further growth going forward, and also it is one of the companies which is unique to its kind to be listed in the country. So you won't find such kind of business model in a lot of its peers. At the same time, a lot of its fundamental value going forward will be driven by businesses where it is investing right now, which have a gestation period of good enough time, and which will start giving returns going forward. That is why we have used a 70% weightage to the fundamental value, that is DCF, and 30% to the multiples. Coming to your second question of using a PE or a price by free cash flows, we believe that taking a comprehensive benchmark from the peers would give us an idea of where the company should stand vis-a-vis the listed peers that it is currently operating against. And that would help us get a fair value of how the market is valuing players in the industry.
Don't you think that your projections are a bit too aggressive, given that more consumers are now consuming content online, and don't you think there's a threat that ad spend on traditional formats would actually go down?
So I think we are conservative when it comes to English print in our model, because our sense is that the English market is pretty much along global lines, and the growth's not going to be supernormal over there. But we are quite bullish on the vernacular and Hindi print in India. The reason is that up until now, FMCG companies and consumer durable companies weren't targeting tier 2, tier 3 cities for selling their products. The focus was still big cities. As these markets are now reaching saturation and there is, disposable income across India, there is a shift towards spending on regional and vernacular print. And we can see that with the markets expected to grow at 14 to 15%, and that's like a commonly accepted growth figure in India for vernacular markets. So yeah, we are very bullish on the regional and Hindi. With English, we have to agree, there is this big question mark of how long can they sustain and when are consumers going to make that shift. But as our argument said, the English market for them is a huge cash cow. They still get about 60% of their EBITDA values comes from the English business alone, and they're going to use that as a bedrock to expand to other businesses.
How does education fit into the broader media strategy? I know you've listed it under one of the new channels.
Yeah. So you can, obviously it's not a direct fit, they're kind of following like a conglomerate model. The way they look at it is that they think that Hindustan Times is a well-respected brand in India, and they're trying to plug in a gap. The gap is that in India you have very good business schools, engineering schools, but what happens to people who don't go to these schools and then want to join a workforce when, say, they're about 35 years of age? So they are targeting schools that are meant for people in the middle of their career who haven't had a great education leading up to that point in time. So these are kind of like vocational schools that are meant for working professionals. The fees are not exorbitant, they're quite, reasonably priced. And the whole idea is to get a huge workforce that India has ready to be employed. And the reason that they think they can pull this off is because of the fact that Hindustan